Pittsburgh Steelers fans, KnoItAllz crew, thanks for joining us for another Wednesday night episode of the Smash the Gas podcast. We down one today, the homie Big-G. Duty calls, had to stay at work a little later than usual. He wasn't able to make it this evening. So, we got me and the homie from the Standard is a Standard podcast, the homie Kerb in the building with us to talk Steelers. Kerb, what's happening, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm all right. Can't complain, man. Can't complain at all. It's not hot as it was last week when we was here.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Probably about 10 degrees. 10 degrees cooler. I think last week it was like 90, 95, 96. Today it was 85, 86. So though it's still hot, that's a little better, man.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
I don't know how it is up in the land, man. Y'all off that water, so do hot get as hot? I know
it get hot, but see that water, the lake give you humidity. That's what really kill us.
Okay. I tell you what, the whole busy city, DC, man, it's all kind of poor quality toxic air around here from all the vehicles and cars and planes in and out the airports and the subway, don't run on fuel and make things be hot around here, man.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I first got here 20 years ago yesterday. I didn't even remember to celebrate yesterday. So I just thought about it just now.
Oh, man.
So got here 20 years ago yesterday, and that was I got off the plane at Ronald Reagan Airport, coming down to get on the metro from the airport, going over to my sister's house where I first stayed my first few months here, carrying two big bags of luggage. And you remember back then, man. I mean, the luggage had the wheels on it, but it just had two wheels on it, right? Like since then, we came up with the 4-wheel luggage easier.
You had to pull it.
Off that metro, man, that subway, up that escalator. Soon as it comes to the escalator, man, he just smashed me in my face. I got to carry these two big bags about 3.5 blocks to get to my sister's house. I'll never forget that moment I stepped into this city full time. But hey, man, we got a special guest joining us. Sometimes when Big-G not here, man, it take a team to pick up the slack.
Oh, yeah.
So we got the triple OG in the building. So in the building with his Zach Frazier jersey on, triple OG Shannon White in the building. Shannon, what's happening, man?
Hello, fellas. Hey, Kerb.
What's up, Shannon? How you doing?
Doing good. I was when found out Big-G wasn't going to be here, and Tate invited me. I said, "Yeah, I'll be there."
Yeah, there's no personality on Steel Curtain Network like Big-G.
No, irreplaceable,
no doubt. 2, so you're filling in for Big-G now, Shannon, and Kerb gonna fill in for him next on Pump Your Brakes. So when we get done with the show, be sure to join us. You can go to Steel Curtain Network, or you can stay right here on the KnoItAllz channel and check out the Pump Your Brakes podcast, our Wednesday night show. And this is not your daddy's Steelers. We're going all three of us, even Big-G was here, we all old enough to remember how far we go back. And we know from the beginning of the dynasty to where we currently at. And we can see all these different changes that we're undertaking right now, man. That's why we taking risks, we taking gambles. In the graphic, you see the dice and the poker chips. Omar pushing them all in, baby. Then on Pump Your Brakes, we're gonna talk about the actual
all in. He pushed them in.
On Pump Your Brakes, we're gonna talk about the on-field aspect of the trade, picking up Jalen Ramsey, getting Jonnu Smith, Minkah being gone. Give our thoughts on that. We got a few clips we're gonna play on that show. Be sure to tune in for that one as well. And man, fellas, so let's go ahead. What we're gonna do, we'll take our first break. We're gonna come back and just jump right into it. I want to know what you guys think about the aggressiveness of Omar Kahn and the Steelers front office, and just what do we think we're doing? I don't want to get into the X's and O's part of it and the players on the field yet. We're gonna say that for pump your brakes. But I want to know about the systemic change in Pittsburgh, where it seems like we finally stepped into the 20th century, man, the 21st century. It seems like, that's why it's not your daddy Steelers. And if you look, not myself, Shannon and Kerby, but some of y'all daddies probably could have been Al Bundy or Uncle Phil from the Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
I don't know. They probably could have been our dads too, man. I mean, I guess them shows was on back in high school time for me, late high school anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little younger than the homie Will Smith, so if Uncle Phil was his uncle like his dad, he could have been my dad too, I guess. Now, y'all cats might have aged out a little bit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad, if it was a Western, he loved Westerns. He had the Western channel. He loved anything, Westerns, cowboys,
right,
all that stuff. So he didn't watch none of them shows. I did, but he didn't.
Right. Okay. But I understand what you're saying. We're going towards a time frame, though.
Yeah.
So I think it was even back in like the Terry Donahue era.
Yep.
General manager. He was the first one to come aboard with Tomlin, right? As far as a GM around that time.
Oh, he was before
No, Tomlin was Colbert.
Yeah, he was before Tomlin.
Like Colbert got there like in the late 90s, right? But Tomlin got to Pittsburgh in 92.
Not Tomlin. Tomlin was
no. Yeah, Tomlin was all Colbert. I meant Coward.
Yeah.
Coward with
Coward,
Donahue for a little bit. Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm sorry. But yeah, fellas, we'll go ahead and take our first break, probably maybe our only break. We're a shorter show right now today. So we'll go ahead and just jump to the break right now. We get back, we'll get into the aggressiveness of the Pittsburgh Steelers and let Shannon and Kerb tell you why this is not your daddy's Pittsburgh Steelers. And we'll be right back. If you're watching on YouTube, stay with us. If you're listening on audio, we'll have to hear yours from our partners and advertisers. We'll be right back after this. And we're back on the Smash the Gas podcast on the KnoItAllz Network. I'm here with the OGs, one triple, one quadruple in the building, Shannon and Kerb. But man, so these moves we make this off season so far, so un-Steeler-like. I'm gonna name the players we let go. Pretty much, we let all the quarterbacks go. And some names are bigger than others. All the quarterbacks. We let our starting running back go. We let George Pickens go, wide receiver. And that's just off offense, right?
Yes.
So all the quarterbacks, so that includes Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. On defense, we let Dante Jackson go, who was a starter last year. Elandon Roberts go. The defensive tackle, Ogunjobi go, and we traded away Minkah Fitzpatrick. Those are at least all the goners I can think about off the top of my head. We brought in big name players: Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, Darius Slay, now Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey. This is so un-Steeler-like, man. Steelers are sitting down. Omar coming to the table, negotiating, putting the money on the table, offering deals. So far to everybody except TJ. We'll talk about that too at some point. But I think TJ's going to get his contract. But what do you fellas think about the change so far in just some of the things that the organization, the front office is doing? Shannon, I'm gonna cut to you first on this one, man. Go ahead and tell us what you're thinking.
Absolutely love it. I am so happy to be out from under the Colbert regime, the old way of thinking that has got the Steelers nothing in over a decade. it has not worked. The clutching your pearls ever draft pick, future draft pick, like, I understand wanting to build through the draft, but there's so many different ways to do things now. And I want to talk about this, as I don't know if we want to do it on this show or the next show, but people are missing the point. This is a brilliant move by Omar Kahn. I mean, brilliant. Because he is set up for a 1-year run for the Super Bowl, but he's also cleared up cap space next year and the year after. So these 1-year contracts, you're all in, and you can say, we tried for Cam, we tried for TJ, we tried for these guys that have been there for a while. But if, it doesn't happen this year, then next year, you're on with the rebuild. Get your, hopefully your next franchise quarterback. You've got draft capital, more picks than you're going to use. So you can also trade them to get additional picks the next year and the year after. So there is so many things that he has set up here. And I've heard 3 narratives that are totally false. That this is an old team now. Wrong. Totally wrong. That they went all in to sacrifice the future. That's wrong. And that they did not do right by Minkah. I agree. I think that's wrong as well. And I can explain if need be. But all I'm saying is what Omar Kahn has done is brilliant, and it had to happen. Because what he's doing, running the same thing back over and over and over and expecting different results, is the pure definition of insanity. And that's what he was doing to me. It was driving me crazy. Because I'm sick of this a little over 500 and everybody saying, oh, never had to lose the season. I don't give a crap about that. Do you see that trophy? Where's that trophy? Now, there's 6 trophies, Lombardi trophies in the case, right? I don't see the one where he has the most non-losing seasons. That don't get you nothing. That they can talk about that when he goes in the Hall of Fame. But for what it does for the organization and the Pittsburgh Steelers, it means nothing. It just means you're mediocre. You're the definition of mid. Because you're really not a threat. Do you think Kansas City fears the Steelers? No. Does the Eagles? No. Does the Bills? No. None of these teams fear the Steelers. But they're going to have to pay attention now. They're going to have to notice. Because either this is going to work and this is a Super Bowl team this year, or it doesn't, but they tried. And then next year, they continue on with the rebuild. But they're not holding the status quo. Now, at his time, Chuck Noll was an innovator. He come in and he built different because he went to the black colleges. How do you say it?
HBCU, historically black colleges and universities.
He hit that harder than anybody. He was ahead of his time. And with Bill Nunn, who was, the most underrated part of the dynasty was Bill Nunn. So then Cowher comes in, and Cowher catches the Steelers back into more of the modern, after, because the game passed no by. Now we're back to this with Tomlin, but it isn't so much Tomlin. It isn't only Tomlin, I should say. It's also what we were dealing with the Colbert era. Because at the end, it passed him by, and he did not have the connections with other GMs to be willing to do it.
He didn't have the connections, or didn't he have the cojones?
I think it was both, Tate, because he won, he was scared, he clutched them pearls, like I said, which might be the Rooneys too. But every time he did a trade, it was the Steelers' favor. It was in the Steelers' favor, the advantage. Mm-hmm. So everybody thought he fleeced them, right? And then they didn't want to deal with him anymore. Because that's the only way you could get Colbert to make a trade. If it was blatantly obvious, it worked out in the Steelers' favor. So I just think that this is what I've been begging for. It shook everything up. I hated to see Minkah go. A great, great dude. I love the guy. But he was not this scheme is not conducive for him to be a ball hawk. Because they did not have the ability or the cojones to play press on the outside. Now I think they will. And it's a shame you can't get Ramsey and keep Fitzpatrick, but it don't work that way.
Yep.
So, but no, this is totally different. This is not your daddy's Steelers way to run an organization at all. And I don't know about Kerb, but for me, I'm thrilled about it.
Oh yeah, I love it. I mean, it surprised me because I want to say it might have been last week. I was saying that I didn't really see the Ramsey deal happening, and when I heard that, I was totally shocked. And the fact that they traded Fitzpatrick, that was a big shock. But this is what the Steelers. I mean, we all been asking for this and saying this is what they should do, and they finally done it. Now, my thing is this: I mean, they can call it what they want to call it. Like Tate said, they done pushed all the chips in. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, hey,
but I agree, Kerb. They pushed all the chips in. The chips that's available for this year, but they still got money in the bank.
Oh yeah, no.
Like Shannon said, they got a lot of contracts that are gonna come off next year. They got 12 picks next year in the draft. The draft's gonna be in Pittsburgh, and I feel like the narrative of the national media. I heard somebody compare it to remember that year Philly got Michael Vick and brought in Deshaun Jackson and the wide receiver from Missouri and Shady McCoy is all Vince Young's all-star team, right? And they didn't have a good season. A lot of different personalities and stuff. I think the difference is we're bringing in more established veterans, the guys we're bringing in, proven winners. Slay has a Super Bowl, Ramsey has a Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers has a Super Bowl. Who am I? DK don't have a Super Bowl, but Jonnu Smith is familiar with Arthur Smith's system. So I think the difference is we bring in those high quality, high character football guys. I think will be good locker room guys. And the difference is if you don't care anything for his X's and O's, Mike Tomlin can manage men. Yep. He can manage a team and get personalities to work together. And I think it'll be successful. I know there's a narrative out there that what is Pittsburgh doing? But I didn't mean to cut you off, Carl. I just want to interject.
So really what I was saying, I mean, they didn't push the chips in, but they haven't sacrificed their future by doing it. But I'm like this. If you're making these moves, hey, jump in it with 2 feet. Like I was hearing that maybe now they don't need to get another receiver. No, yes, you do. If and I still stay on it. If you can get Amari Cooper to come in here, get him. Give Aaron Rodgers as many weapons as he possibly can have. Because to me, I still think it's a void there. But I mean, don't be the normal Steelers where they would kind of dabble and get so far. Hey, jump all the way in it, And I feel like this team.
That's a big no Diddy curve jump all the way in it.
This thing kind of remind me of Tampa Bay, what they did a few years ago with Brady,
or the Rams, when they had Aaron.
The Rams sacrificed 5 first-round picks to make all that happen.
Yeah. But I mean, they went all in, Yeah.
But Tampa Bay kind of did the same thing.
Let me address Jamal McCollum. Minkah completely shut down the deep ball single-handedly. That's the problem. He was back there playing, deep one, single drop coverage back there, and they're going away from him. Too easy to go away from him. And we'll get into it more on the next show. Schematically, that's the difference. Jalen Ramsey Minkah's a playmaker, but if you're not giving him a chance to make plays, he can't make plays. Jalen Ramsey's going to be at the line of scrimmage. He's going to be blitzing. He's going to be on your team's best receiver. So he has more opportunity to make plays. I think Minkah's a top 5 safety in the league, even right now. I think Jalen Ramsey's a top 10 cornerback in the league right now. And I think that the value proposition, the value of a corner in the top 10 is more so than the safety in the top 5.
I have something I'm going to bring out an observation I've been hearing, but I will wait till the next show. But it's about Ramsey. There's things that people are not talking about.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the next one. We'll get into the X's and O's and the deployment aspect of everything on the next show. Joseph Downs.
I totally agree with Joseph
we
about the question marks. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there'll be questions. I mean, to me, if the coaching staff is even though we talk about the winning season, the coaching staff is. I think you have to admit now this roster is better than last year. The coaching staff was winning with the players they've had the last 5 years. Been 5 different quarterbacks start season every year since Ben's last season, including Ben as one of the quarterbacks. It was Ben, Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, Justin Fields. This year it'll be somebody be Aaron Rodgers. 5 quarterbacks. Let me finish. The team has been competitive as far as making the playoffs, as far as the other teams that don't make the playoffs. And now this coaching staff has better players. We can agree on that. Better players. Now we'll see what they do. They got rid of some coaches. They changing things up. So we'll have to see. I have to reserve on that comment. Reserve to wait to see what happens this year. Go ahead, Shannon.
They have serious problems for years now with personnel usage. They play guys out of position and they're stubborn. And I ain't saying that's only Tomlin, but he's one of them.
Yeah.
But it's also the defensive coordinator. It's been Matt Canada.
Can
what?
Can I ask you a question real quick about your comment? So they play players out of position. I think what we're alluding to, one of the things we're alluding to anyway, is the position Minkah's in. Right? They didn't use Minkah to the best of his abilities.
Yes.
But I also have to say, Minkah been back there, to keep things from going over the top with cornerbacks like Dante Jackson and who was there the year before that. All these cornerbacks, Patrick Peterson.
Yep.
And I feel like it was somebody between Peterson and Dante Jackson that I'm missing. I mean, Joey Porter Jr. has been a rookie.
Joe Hayden.
No, Joe Hayden was before that, but Joe Hayden played good. Him and the other guy.
He was in between.
No, it was somebody between Peterson and Dante Jackson. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Peterson.
Yeah, it was just Peterson.
Yeah, it was Peterson.
But Minkah and the way this defense was designed were covering some of those deficiencies.
I think the schemes have been so vanilla. They've been so petrified to do anything different, to really press, because not only are they very passive in their coverages, but it's so complex that the guys can't learn it. Then they can't communicate it because they don't have the right person wearing the green dot. And they've had terrible communication on the field and blown coverages and plays. It's bad schemes. It's bad player development. It's bad player usage, playing guys out of position all across the offensive line. Bad drafts, picking Najee Harris, who cannot play outside zone, and then you hire an offensive line coach that's his scheme. He teaches outside zone. You hire Arthur Smith, who runs outside zone, and you got a running back, you can't run outside zone. I mean, it's been insanity. And Omar Kahn inherited this mess. It's absolute mess that Kevin Colbert left. Now, the last 2 drafts in this offseason, he's trying to fix that. And the only way to fix it is to blow it up. And he started with this trade and with these guys he brought in. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to see a new Steeler organization created more in his image, what his plan is. We're starting to see it come together. But, I mean, I'm not going to try to take the blame away from the coaching staff just because of the talent. But it was player development. It was bad drafts. It was playing players out of position. It was bad schemes. All that should hopefully be better, but it might require some of these coaches to be replaced.
Yep.
Well, I think they did that too with the secondary coach, the middle linebacker coach. They brought in they brought in some new coaches, not this offseason, last offseason too. the wide receiver coach, the QB coach. So they're shaking things up.
But the coaches that were replaced, can we all say it together? Scapegoats. I mean, we don't really want to put the blame where it should be. We're going to blame it on.
If there's a lack of communication in the secondary, I think the secondary coach has something to do with it.
But it's they blame it on the inside linebacker coach. I mean, he didn't draft David Bush. He didn't give him crap to work with.
Kevin Colbert did, and Devin Bush was a good player until he got hurt. I'm not saying Kevin Colbert's drafts were good, but
not my kind of player. Never, even when they first got him.
He was a moderate. He played good the first year in first 5 or 6 games before he got hurt. He's a moderate linebacker, fast, can cover sideline to sideline. He's the guys you see now. Smaller, could play the passing game. He didn't pan out because he got injured, and he's been gone since. But I think in today's NFL, you don't trade up to get him to a linebacker. That's not a position of value. Jamal says about Peyton Wilson wearing the green dot. Shannon said that since the beginning of the offseason, that should be a thing. I don't disagree. I don't know how much faster he is than Queen. I think he's very fast, but I think if you free Queen up from the green dot, then you'll see Queen at his strengths and you'll see his speed and sideline.
I think what he's saying that Wilson processed faster and moved faster that way. I don't think he meant pure foot speed. I think he's processing speed.
Okay, that could be it. But I've seen this year recently, Patrick Queen said, that his first year in new defense, he's been working all off season, studying the defense and stuff like that. So we'll see. It sounds like he's gonna start out with the green dot anyway.
Yeah.
We did have Gray and Cockwell and Burns. Them are some of the bad cornerbacks. You're right, Mark. We've had over the years.
Oh.
Kerb, what do you think, man, about like the difference between Kevin Colbert and what Omar Kahn's doing and stuff like that? I think, the Steelers, even systematically, just play schematically, old school football, which is fine. But when you play the way they play, no risk, no chances, playing close to the vest, you're gonna be in them close games. You don't have a difference maker at the quarterback position. You're gonna put yourself behind the 8 ball, because if you get down 2 scores, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I just think probably what Colbert was, he was part of that old school. I mean, he was still I get him confused. Dan Rooney was there. So, they was all part of that. They was just in their ways. And so Colbert came up
because their ways won Super Bowls, but go ahead.
Yep. So Colbert, he came up in that. And so that's the way he managed. So I think now what they looked at, it probably somewhat embarrassed that we're the Pittsburgh Steelers, and okay, we're not having losing seasons, but we're getting to the playoffs and getting. Not only are you losing, most of the time they're getting it handed to them. So
definitely.
So Mr. Rooney probably looking at like, hey, we definitely got to change, because the way we used to do things, those days are gone, and everything is passing us up. And so now I think Omar has been given kind of that green light to go out and make deals and bring guys in that they never done before. So I think slowly but surely they're coming around to the way things are done in the NFL now. And
I completely agree.
The last 5 years would have never happened with Dan Rooney around.
Oh no.
He was irreplaceable when he passed. So he's the one that brought in none. He was the one that helped with that dynasty. The Steelers were the worst franchise in the NFL. They were the Cleveland Browns till Dan Rooney took over. Dan Rooney he's the talent in the Rooney family, guys. It wasn't Art. Art was a great man. He was a great, he's the one that bought the team, won it. We know the stories. But Dan was the talent. And now they don't have that in ownership. Nobody can replace Dan Rooney. But thankfully, Omar Kahn, I think they're finally, the ownership's getting out of the way and saying, okay, you do what you got to do. And I think we're seeing that.
Let the football guys make the football decisions.
Yes.
Let me ask you guys a question. We talk about the winning seasons and stuff like that. Have the Steelers been deficient since their last playoff win? I mean, are they winning, getting to the playoffs with less, or are they underachieving every time they make it to the playoffs and not winning games they should win?
It's all underachieving.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said, it's drafting, player development, free agency. They're underachieving across the board. And then you get, Tomlin and the steadiness of the organization. They pull out another winning season, 1 game, 2 games over, and everybody's like, oh, looky. But nobody's really realizing that means nothing. Nothing is accomplished. But you never fully rebuild because you're always treading water. Just treading water. Did you see Brett Kiesel's tweet?
I did.
Yeah, he says he can't believe, where did the standard go? He said this is not Steeler football. Where did the standard go? And I responded. I said, thank God you're saying it, because every time I say it, I get crucified for it. People's like, oh, you don't appreciate how they keep winning. They ain't winning nothing. I either want the Super Bowl. First, I'm like Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you're last, baby. I don't know if y'all like that movie, but I'm Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you're last. There's no difference.
And, they just got to, like I said, I mean, it's something else that I see that they're doing now is I lost the chain of thought. Take over.
So I think I agree with everything what Shannon said, but it's by the same token, it's difficult to win a Super Bowl. And I think that comes into it when we say Steeler fans are spoiled, a lot of them. I mean, we can't win a Super Bowl every year. Some teams want to make the playoffs, but because the standard is different in Pittsburgh, we always look at it from season to season. We look at it unrealistically. You say some people say bottom out, lose on purpose, get draft picks. They haven't done that. I don't think they will do that. But they've managed to find a way this year to not have to bottom out, still try and compete, yet still be in good position for next year in the draft. I mean, I think all 3 Omar Kahn's drafts that he's been in charge of have been hits. I mean, he became general manager the draft right after Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
Because Kevin Colbert did that draft, then Omar Kahn took over the job right after that draft. So Kevin Colbert thought he was leaving the Steelers with a franchise quarterback. Najee Harris, he was drafted the year before Kenny Pickett. So that's Kevin Colbert too, right?
Yep.
So yeah, Omar Kahn's been cleaning up a lot of Kevin Colbert's messes. I haven't seen a draft pick yet, or even a move really that Omar Kahn's made that wasn't been a successful move yet to me. Can you guys think of one?
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. Patrick Peterson, shoot, who was it last year? They didn't really pan out. I can't think.
Patterson.
Yeah, but definitely Patterson.
But you know what? He was really more bought in here for the kickoff because they thought with the new kickoff rule, that he would be, make some waves there. But I mean, and
he come in looking like an overweight linebacker.
Yeah, he did, man. He like he was about 250. Yeah.
Tate getting fined. I'll pick up where Big-G left off.
Yeah, he was definitely a little chubby.
Little heavy. Yeah.
Now I got a question. Do you think, even though the rules have changed in the NFL now and guys, teams can't practice the way they used to practice, but you always hear that I guess you could say maybe he go right up to the rules. You know, Tomlin runs a hard camp. Now, I don't know how the practices are through the week, but it just seemed like the Steelers kind of run probably a more harder camp, harder practices than the average teams. And if you notice,
that's why the Steelers always come out ready, though.
Yeah, no, they come out ready, but if you notice the end of the year,
they fade.
They fade. So I just wonder.
It could be something to that.
That's something he needs to kind of hold back on, because like these are different guys now. These ain't the guys from 10, 15 years ago. Because now all these players now, they really don't practice,
I don't think GP was a terrible move, Jamal. It was a really good draft pick at number 52, I believe. He was a first-round talent, had an injury at Georgia. GP just had a terrible attitude.
Yeah.
And,
that's why he was at 52.
Yeah, and being injured. Yeah. But, I mean, because I think if he wasn't injured, even though he might have dropped, he wouldn't drop to 52.
Well, there was teams that had him off the board altogether.
There were.
Yeah. That's a bad attitude when you're that talented.
We great transition. Get ready. GP didn't want to be here, John, but I don't think GP can want to be in Dallas either. He's still over here in Steeler business. His comments on Minkah's trade and the stuff he's saying, all the guys that left or got released or let go, they have bones to pick. You see Najee saying stuff about the and I like Najee. George Pickens is a huge talent.
Najee's up for trade, supposedly. They're already talking about maybe shopping him. They figured out he's slow.
Yeah, I think he'll be their third down back. He'll never meet the incentives that's required to hit all his contract because he won't get the volume.
No.
But fellas, we gonna get out of here. Again, this is not your daddy Steelers. They're doing things different. We'll see how it all looks next year, but we'll talk about what it's gonna look like on the next episode coming up right up. Pump your brakes. So we're gonna jump from here, jump over there. We're not gonna jump in it. That's Curb jumping in it. We're gonna jump. We're gonna jump to
it. Hey, just a fair warning. I might be a little excited over there. I might be a little fired up. I might be fired up over there.
I thought you was fired up here.
Yeah.
No, just warming up.
But yeah, so jump on over to the Pump Your Brakes podcast on the Steel Curtain Network or right here on the KnoItAllz channel. We'll be both places, and we'll see you in about 5 minutes. For now, we out of here.
Peace.
Let's go.
Mamba out.